and welcome to the Control Alt Delete workshop. My name is Inian and this is my wife Unna. Both of us will be facilitating you through this workshop. We have an exciting line of speakers. We have doctors from across the country who are specialists in their own fields, and we have wellness experts coming to share their thoughts with us. But before we get in there, I should take you through how we got started in this wellness journey. I am an engineer and an MBA by profession. I used to work here in the software industry as an HR person. I had no clue what health was a black box. And the point that triggered my thought about it was when my colleague, whom I was working very closely with, he was in fact my CEO, he passed away because of a heart attack when he was just 42. That was a big shocker for me. I had no clue what it was happening because he was a marathoner, he was fit, he was thin. I thought everything that should not happen has happened to him. But when I came home, thankfully I had an answer. Because Unna is a qualified nutritionist, she's a food and dietetics specialist, and that's where I said, okay, maybe she has an answer. The more we talked together, the more dawned upon me about how simple lifestyle changes can make a big difference. Because if you really look at it, Unna, today we have the best of science, the best of research and development, bringing in the best of instrumentations. We have the best of medicines available. We have the best universities, bringing out thousands of doctors who are brilliant minds. But today, unfortunately, the number of diseases have also gone up. Why do you think so?
Yeah, you're right, Inian. Actually, 2 generations ago, thyroid, PCOD, infertility, fat and carbohydrate-related metabolic disorders, diabetes, and most of these lifestyle challenges, hormonal disorders were really not, very common.
Right.
But nowadays, let me say, you're working and you're perfectly fine. Most probably your colleague to your right and your colleague to your left is already, battling with these concerns. Mm-hmm. That's how close it is to us now, and it's very scary. The numbers are more scarier, right? Now, I feel that the biggest reason is that, in the past 2 generations, the way we've lived our life has totally changed. Right? Mm-hmm. The food we eat, the way we grow the food, the exercise that we do, or not even exercise, it's just the everyday physical activity, including your exercise, your stress, your various roles and responsibilities that you undertake in your life, let me say, even the quality and quantity of rest and relaxation that you have every day, mm-hmm. right? Or let me say, even the way we are connected to somebody else,
Correct.
Right? Today we are actually, living perhaps close together, even living perhaps close together even in social media, but the truth is we don't feel very understood, and there's more disconnect between many of us. So that is like, that's no wonder, another big area is the roles and responsibilities. If I have to take myself as an example, I'm a working mom to 2 teenagers, a life partner, walking hand in hand. The other thing, I'm also a daughter-in-law, a daughter. So there's so many roles and responsibilities and multitasking expectations from myself that I have and other people have around me. So all of this has just like, no wonder with so many things that we are handling today and the way we are handling it, right? I would say that we're all at a loss as to how to manage our everyday lives to put priority of our health.
In fact, Nuna, I think this workshop is just designed for us because I can see, 3 eminent doctors lined up, specialists in their own field,
wow.
joining us for a panel discussion, and we have 3 top wellness coaches who probably, will give us insights into what is that we can change in our life. I'm so excited to listen to them, and this is a workshop. This is not an entertainment or a documentary. So if you're sitting here and listening to us, make sure you have a pen and a paper if you haven't picked up already, and take notes. Connect with your wellness coach or an expert immediately after this workshop and see how some of these changes that you heard here. And let's go and meet the doctors. I'm very happy to bring to you a panel of eminent doctors from all across the country. We have Dr. Sriranjan Rao. He's a practicing clinical radiologist running multiple diagnostic centers from Bhilai. Welcome to the panel, Doctor. Dr. Prashant from Pune. He works for one of the largest corporate hospitals. He's a consulting pediatric surgeon. Welcome to the panel, Dr. Prashant.
Thank you.
And Dr. Ashwini from Bangalore. And Dr. Ashwini has a degree in Ayurvedic medicine and a postgraduate degree in nutrition, and she's been practicing in Bangalore. Welcome to the panel, Dr. Ashwini. In fact, one of the common things that I keep hearing is that once you have a lifestyle disorder, it's for life. You'll have to keep taking medicine for the rest of your life, right? I mean, that's the most common thing I keep hearing.
But the answer to that particular question is not that straightforward. It is both yes and no. See, we have to understand how did we land up into these lifestyle disorders. So when we keep neglecting lifestyle for our own body for a long period of time, we may end up to a lifestyle disorders beyond a threshold level where it can be reversible. And suppose we cross that threshold level, then probably yes, we will have to take that medication for the rest of their life. But in most other cases, we haven't yet reached that threshold level, and there is a possibility that we can reverse those changes and we may not need those medications forever.
That's interesting.
But how is it possible to know whether we have reached that threshold? There is unfortunately no way to know. But definitely it's worth giving it a try.
Definitely interesting.
Right? So this is very common myth, of course. And another common myth is that as you become old, as you become aged, these lifestyle disorders are part and parcel of life, right?
Yes. So, Dr. Rao, actually, it's a very, very common myth. I'll give you an example of my own brother. He was 32 years of age and he got blood pressure. Later on, he happened to got diabetes also. And, when I was talking to him, he said that it's because of my aging process that it is happening. And I see so many people who are having some kind of family history. Somebody is having diabetes, blood pressure. They also accept those diseases as a part and parcel of their life because, my parents have got it, or, it's a part of my growing process.
Correct.
All right. Now, if somebody who is 60, 70 years of age, he's talking about that he has got lifestyle diseases, it's still acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But, somebody who is 30, 35 years of age, he says that because of the aging process, because I'm getting older, that, I'm getting these diseases, it's definitely not acceptable.
I'm actually hearing it more often.
Absolutely, and I'll give you an analogy. If you have bought a brand new house, you're not expecting a major breakdown for at least 10 to 15 years, right?
Correct.
But if you get some kind of major breakdown within 3 to 5 years, that means there is some problem with the house. Okay, so we have to accept that if you're getting those lifestyle diseases at 30, 35 years of age, there is some problem with your body, and we need to rectify it. All right. So I feel that we should work more on our lifestyle and work on prevention. At the same time, we should not go at the other end of the extreme, wherein we are saying that I am very much thin and I am regularly exercising, so I will not get lifestyle diseases.
Yeah, that's true. Even, many times I get this question from my clients, they say, and I just tell them like this, by seeing any fruit from outside, we are not able to judge the quality of fruit or vegetable, right?
Okay.
Similarly, by seeing any person who is thin, we are not able to make out whether how much fat percentage or muscle strength he or she has,
Okay.
And I have seen many thin people who are having high fat percentage.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to lifestyle disorder, people think that, only if I eat right or if I exercise, then it's okay, But they forget about many other, lifestyle pillars, like, what is your stress level, what is your quality of sleep, And there are certain factors which are not in our hand also, like, environmental toxicity. Right, the kind of plastic usage we are doing, or that kind of personal care and cosmetics we are using on regular basis, they are creating, they are actually acting like hormones in our body. They are mimicking like a hormone and creating disturbance, which people are not aware nowadays. And people have different kinds of habits. Smoking, drinking, and even I have seen many thin people who binge eat on non-veg.
Absolutely, yes.
And that's when I get a question from vegetarian people. They say that, I'm a vegetarian and I don't drink or I don't smoke. Will I get the lifestyle disorder?
I'll answer this question to you, Ashwini. See, I am a South Indian Brahmin and we are all total teetotals, in fact. if I talk about my parents, their siblings, and their parents, talking about a cohort or sample size of 15 to 20 people, none of them ever had been exposed to tobacco or alcohol. And as far as vegetarian is concerned, we go and look for eggless cakes also.
Okay.
So we have never been addicted to any such things. But then if we try to enumerate the diseases, lifestyle diseases we have incurred in these 15-20 people who have almost every lifestyle disease you can think of, right from diabetes mellitus, hypertension, hypothyroidism, bronchial asthma, spondylitis, Hodgkin's disease, prostatic cancer.
Dr. Shiranjan, you're sounding it like a menu card.
In fact, I had always every possibility to get anything from them. So I was very fearsome to start with, and because I was worried that I may inherit certain diseases from them.
Right.
So I tried to find out there is some commonality between their things. I couldn't find any single denominator among them, except that none of them had a healthy lifestyle. None of them had a balanced lifestyle pillars. So that was one thing I could pick, and I had never used that as an excuse. In fact, a lot of people, you must find that hereditary, I have got this disease, hereditary, it's in my genes, so I can't do anything about it, right?
Yes. Hereditary is a lot of patients, whom I deal with who are getting lifestyle diseases. They attribute the causation of that disease to hereditary factor. They say that, my parents have got diabetes, and I hear a lot about thyroid also. My mother is thyroid, so, I am also prone for thyroid disorder. And this is extremely common now. But I'll tell you, Inian, I have so many patients in whom there is definitely a family history of diabetes, blood pressure, thyroid, even heart attacks. Okay. And those patients, actually, they were able to prevent those lifestyle diseases for a prolonged period of time. And at the same time, I had another class of patients also who had contracted those diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, or maybe thyroid also. They were able to reverse it. So if it was hereditary, then once you contract it, it should remain, all right, for a prolonged period of time. But they were able to reverse it, okay. So what I feel is that, instead of blaming our genes, okay, they call it as it's in my genes, right? So, instead of blaming our genes, we should take responsibility for ourselves and work on lifestyle and, work on prevention. And if you have already contracted it, work on reversal as well. So basically, Inian, I feel that all these myths exist because we don't know really how our body works.
In fact, my professor used to tell me, Inian, that obesity runs in your family because nobody runs in your family. Another thing I wanted to tell you about my sample size of 15-20 people in my parents' side. All of them had a very long lifespan. They lived up to 65-70 years of age, but a substantial part of their life, almost 30-35 years of their life, they struggled with these lifestyle diseases, which they incurred at the age of 35-40, and they lived with those diseases, never enjoying their body and their life fully. That is very unfortunate, right?
Thanks for sharing that personal bit of information, Dr. Shiranjan, because I was just thinking when Dr. Prashant was saying, I'm an engineer by education, right? And in fact, I don't have a clue, what health, right? In fact, I did not even know that, we have 11 major systems in our body, how beautifully they integrate. Our body is a miracle, right? Yes. I like what you said. I mean, if you can give the right kind of support, I mean, it can, thrive back. I mean, that's how nature is, right? Nature always wants to thrive, and, that'll be very interesting. The only thing most of us know who are non-medical practitioners is probably do a medical checkup regularly.
Yes.
And then we look at some parameters which are bold or red, go to a doctor and look at the prescriptions, and we just pop in those pills, right? We don't even, all of us understand that there are probably side effects of those medicines, but we really don't know how those side effects or why those side effects are happening.
Right.
Correct. In fact, we have to understand all the medicines are basically chemicals.
Right.
And whenever we ingest chemicals in any form in our body, they are going to have some or other chemical side effects.
Correct.
Chemical reaction, in fact. And our body is made of all biochemical things. So whenever we take chemical, it reaches every cell and every tissue of the body, entire organ systems. For example, I take antibiotic. Whenever we have some infection in some part of the body, we take antibiotic, we just pop in. And those antibiotics reaches that particular part which is affected, and it kills bacteria there.
Correct.
But rest of the tissue and cells where those antibiotics have reached, there also they have some or other effect. It's like pebble thrown in a lake.
Okay.
Right.
It will have ripples, and that ripples will go a very long way. We may not observe, we may not identify, appreciate, but ripples are there. Similarly, those biochemical reactions at cellular level definitely are there by any chemical use. And even in science, we know hardly 40% of the reaction side effects are known to us in science. 65 to 70% of reactions are still unknown to humankind.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is actually very much.
Correct. In fact, in Ian, I will tell you, he said that, the cells, other cells are also getting affected. I'll give you my own example. Whenever I take any antibiotic for sore throat, I always get diarrhea. Now it is related to the gut, so there is some effect which is happening at other part of our body. I see a lot of people, they want to achieve results somehow. Okay. Whereas, what we should ideally do is that we should go to the roots and cure it. I'll give you an example, right? Like, Dr. Rao, if we get malaria, all right, we are obviously going to get fever, right? Correct. Now, if you give paracetamol, your fever is going to settle.
Correct.
But is that the real treatment for malaria?
No.
Absolutely not. We have to give anti-malarials, right? Now, if you give anti-malarials, the fever goes on its own. You really don't have to give paracetamol.
Wow, I understand it now.
Absolutely. So now you just imagine, Indian, if somebody has got a diabetes, all right, he's taking some medications, maybe one medication, 2, 3, or maybe insulin also, and his sugar levels are normal. What is he thinking?
He's thinking it's fine.
It's fine for me. My sugar levels are normal. I am doing fine. All right, but is that the real treatment?
Now, after listening to you, actually know.
Maybe not.
Correct. So I'll give an analogy. Like, I work in a corporate hospital. Let's say if there is a fire outbreak, obviously the alarms are going to ring.
Correct.
Now, if you put the alarms off, is that the real treatment? The fire is still going on. So similarly, if you're giving medications and controlling the sugar levels, that's not the real treatment.
Wow,
okay?
That's a great example.
Absolutely. Okay. So what we have to do is that we have to go to the root cause and identify that root cause and reverse it. Okay. And one of the very important factor that we should really work upon is, our eating habits. All right. They say that if we eat our food like medicine, okay, we don't have to eat medicines like food in future.
That's
we
beautiful.
become what we eat, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true. There is another, saying like it comes down to gut health, right? We know that many, diseases root is the gut health, and even there is a famous quote which says, gut is our second brain, right?
Yes.
The kind of emotions we go through is also depend on, the gut health we have. And I get call from people and they talk about prolonged acidity or bloating issues or skin problems, even hormonal issues, and all I can hear in background is poor gut health. The kind of practices we are following nowadays, like if we get little cold also, we want to take antibiotics, and there are so many people who keep on popping antacids for acidity, and even there was one lady actually, she used to take 1 to 2 pills on daily basis for migraine. Why? Because she was not able to focus in.
I've seen a lot of my colleagues carry antacids or sleeping pills, just like
they are very common. Very common.
That's true. So this all they don't understand that they have to work on root cause, and to work on that, gut health plays very important role. Nutrition plays important role. They have to give a different kind of probiotics or small minerals which are help them to heal gut. And nowadays one of the major problem is hormonal health. That is also coming from gut health, right? If your gut is not good, you see that hormones get disturbed, right? And people again don't understand that they have to work on nutrition. And other day I got a call from lady and she was saying that my doctor told me that you lose weight and your thyroid will come normal. And if we see, that's true.
Right.
But that's not a complete truth, because I have seen ladies, or even men also, they try to lose weight in a shortcut way. They go to gym, do workout for 2 hours, they try to do salad diets or even following, low calorie diets, right? And all this leads to their stress hormone increases, and this disturbs all other hormones because they don't understand that these all hormones are interlinked,
Correct.
One gets disturbed, other starts getting disturbed, like, their thyroid gets disturbed, PCOD, diabetes, everything starts coming up, and we have to, if we see women's health also, they go through different stages, like from menarche to menopause, everything they go through changes, and they have to understand that again nutrition is very important, to go through smoothly. through this, and even people, they don't understand if they why they feel suddenly hungry, or why they feel full, or all these emotions also come from hormones. So hormone has major role in our body, and we have to take care of it right way.
Thank you for sharing this, Dr. Ashwini, because a lot of us actually, I think, miss out on understanding the hormones. And there's another common word that I keep, hearing these days is about inflammation.
Yes.
Inflammation, Indian, is basically body's response towards crisis. For example, somebody meets an accident or some infection happens. So any disruption in our body systems results in our body's response to that system to curb it.
Mm-hmm.
So our white blood cells, and they create an immune system, and whenever we are attacked, they create some inflammatory response. And by inflammatory response, it means
A protective thing.
protective thing, right?
Okay.
But then you have to understand, once that incitement happens and that inflammatory response happens, it should curb the thing, it should be over.
Correct.
But if our inciting factors are continuous, the disruption in our harmony is continuous, then this inflammatory response also becomes continuous, and then it stays in the body. So it is known as chronic inflammatory response, and this chronic inflammation is actually the root cause of all the lifestyle disorders. I'll give an analogy. For example, suppose we live in a society and the society goes into disharmony, communal disharmony, for example. We have to bring paramilitary forces into the society that combat that disarmament factors, and it gets taken care of. But suppose there is a disharmony in society for a prolonged period of time. These paramilitary forces which are there, persistent, they start creating a ruckus in the society.
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
And you cannot handle, because you are not
Correct.
equipped with handling paramilitary forces sort of
Right.
ruckus in the society.
Yes.
Similarly, our body is not ready or equipped to deal with chronic inflammatory processes, and they eventually results in degenerative disorders and lifestyle diseases.
Right.
So, is there a way to handle this inflammation?
Yeah. In fact, there are so many factors which are counterproductive for chronic inflammation. For example, our complete sleep cycle, our low stress levels, complete balanced nutrition, regular exercises, these are all responsible for bringing the chronic inflammation down.
Now that you're talking about stress levels, I see as a former HR person, one of the common things that I keep coming across is the effect of stress, and how the mind has an influence on our body and things like that. In fact, if you look at the lifestyle disorders, I look at it in three different phases. Some things which you can control, some things which you have to change, alter, right, and some things which you have to delete, eliminate from your lifestyle.
Yes.
And we have invited three of our best coaches, wellness coaches, who will probably talk about each of these three things. And why don't all of us, listen to them?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
That's great.
That's great.
Oh, wow. Una, when I walked into this doctor's panel discussion, I was thinking, I know so much about it. I've read so many things about health, but I realized a lot of my beliefs were actually myths. And what beautifully all the three doctors really broke it down, and there's so much of clarity in my mind right now.
Yeah, so true, Indian, because what struck me after watching, the doctors speak is very simple. Dr. Sriranjan said 70% of the concerns with regards to the side effects with regards to allopathic medication is still unexplored. And suddenly it seems to me wiser and safer to just make sure that we can do whatever is in our control to take charge of our lifestyle. And I think that's better.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the areas where we can actually have a great level of control is our food and our nutrition. And I'm very excited about listening to Archana, because she's one of the top experts in that area. And I'm sure she has some exciting tips that we can pick up and actually start implementing in our day-to-day lives. Let's listen to Archana now.
Hi all, I'm Archana Rajesh. I used to work in the IT industry for 10 years. Later, I shifted my career to health and wellness industry. One of the main reasons why I did the shift of career was my own health transformation. A couple of years back, I was detected with hypothyroidism. This is the first time I came to know that hormones play an important role in your body. I always knew that organs have an important role, but these hormones, which are signaling these organs to perform better, also has a major role, right? So I started reading more about this condition of hypothyroidism. The more I read, the more I started becoming worried, because exactly I didn't know what should I do to help my condition become better. Fortunately, it was around the same time that I got exposure to WQ community. When the results came, I was really surprised how simple diet and lifestyle changes can get me this magical results. So today, I'm going to share with you my experience and learnings of how you can adapt these healthy lifestyle and diet changes so that you can have a better hormonal health. So where do we start? There may be some areas in your life right now which you are feeling is not in control. Rather than worrying about the areas which are out of control, let's start with the areas where we can take control. For example, right now you may not be in a position where you can go to gym and work out for 1 hour every day. But you can work out easily for 15 minutes at home every day. Just that you have to make sure that this is part of your calendar and it's going to happen regularly. If you're a person who's already regular with exercises and walk and things, I want to let you know there are specific exercises which can give added benefits for your hormones to perform better. So make sure you incorporate those exercises into your daily routine. Okay, one of the major things which you need to take control if you're really looking for your hormonal health to improve is what you put into your mouth, right? Practicing healthy eating habits and focusing on right nutrition through diet and supplements has helped me tremendously improve my hormonal health, right? But what do we eat on a regular basis? Are they giving them enough? Let's see some of the famous food plates which we eat on a regular basis. Let's start with breakfast. So it is idli, 3 idlis with chutney and sambar. I used to believe that idli is very, very healthy because it's steamed. It doesn't have any oil. But does that give everything which need for my body to produce a healthy hormones? Definitely not. Then a couple of times in a week, people have puri with an aloo or with any curries, right? So again, it's a fried food, right? These fried food causes a lot of problems with your hormonal health. Okay, another famous food is like aloo paratha with curd and pickle, right? But is this food also helping me have a better hormonal health? Not really. Let me go to next lunch. What do I eat for my lunch? Okay, a bowl of rice, sambar. The vegetables which I have for lunch is of my choice. I'm very picky and choosy of what I eat. So it can be mostly aloo or any of that famous vegetables which are tasty. And a bowl of curd rice and a little of papad, right? Is this helping me to have a better health? Not really. Okay. So instead of So instead of curd rice, sometimes we also have roti with rice. Okay. Okay. Fine. So what do we do over weekends? Weekends are the time when we need to treat ourselves and we feel sometimes relaxed when we eat food, the tastiest food. So what do we eat? Right? Fried rice with gobi Manchurian and tomato sauce. Right? I used to think that fried rice are also healthy because it has a lot of vegetables. But the vegetables in this form does not help you. Right? If you are a non-vegetarian, how does your Sunday meals look? Chicken biryani with egg and raita. Right? Is this the only thing I have for the Sunday meal? Not at all. Definitely a dessert. Right? Any sweets of your choice will be what you finish your Sunday lunch with. So after eating this lunch, such heavy lunch, I used to sleep like a snake which has swallowed a prey. I can't even move. For a couple of hours, I will be just sleeping. Right. Okay, so Sunday meal is done. Your lunch is done. Is that over? No, one more meal is there. Our dinner, right? We have worked throughout the day. Now it's dinner time and we wanted to have a good heavy meal to our satisfaction. So what does we normally do, right? Dosa with chutney and sambar again. It keeps me full and I'm feeling so happy because my stomach is full now and it's time to sleep. It automatically induces sleep when you eat such a heavy meal, right? And then, or else I'll have roti with a vegetable curry, right? So really most of the people are not focused on what vegetable it is, just that they need a dip for the roti, and that's how the dinner is planned. Okay, so these are the typical meals that people have on a daily basis, right? So how should I eat if I have to take care of my hormonal health? This is how we eat, right? A bowl of rice, a bowl of rice, a bowl of dal, a bowl of cooked vegetables. Along with it, 2 bowls of salads, okay? This helps me cover the whatever I required for a good hormonal health, like your proteins, your vitamins, your fiber, your good fat, and your healthy carbs, right? Okay, see, you need to remember that you need a diet which not just fuels your body, but also which nourishes it, right? That's when you will have a best hormonal health. Another thing is, like, to get the maximum benefit of what we consume from our food, we need to correct our meal timing also, right? So your meal timing has to be in sync with your internal clock. People who eat late dinner sleep late, and that affects their sleep and digestion. Just making a simple change like eating dinner before 8 p.m. can help you have better digestion and better sleep. And the next thing which we need to take care, and which is very easily can be taken in control, is your water intake, right? Adequate amount of water intake in a day is very, very essential for your digestion system to perform better, and that can help you in having a better health. If you're a person who have difficulty with drinking enough water, you can install a simple app in your mobile which will help you track the water and give you reminders so that you can take this area in control. Next is oil consumption. Most of the household, we don't track what is the amount of oil which is consumed on a daily basis, right? Even on a monthly basis, we are not sure how much oil is being used in the household. See, oil plays a very significant role with your hormonal health. The lesser the oil you use while cooking, better will be your health. A simple tip to track your oil and bring it down, instead of pouring oil directly from the oil dispenser to the pan, start using a bowl with spoon and start measuring the oil, right? In this way, you will be surprised that you are able to control a lot of your oil intake, right? Another important component of our health is like sleep. Like it is not just about how many hours you have slept. It also matters what was the quality of your sleep. Was it disturbed? Did you wake up multiple times? Do you feel rejuvenated when you wake up in the morning? All these matters for a good health. Lack of sleep can affect your hormonal health, increase your cravings for sweets and high calorie food, and also it needs the support of extra caffeine in your day to move your days. Again, following simple techniques like scheduling a sleep time and hitting bed at the same time every day, keeping your gadgets away 30 minutes before you sleep, all these can help you have a better sleep. The thing is, like, these are not something new you are listening to, but are you practicing it to take this area in control? That's the question, right? The last thing, but which has a major impact on your hormonal health, is stress, right? Are you feeling stressed? If yes, what are you doing about it? Most of the people feel that the stress or the situation will change over a period of time. But what happens is, like, these stresses builds up toxicity in the body, which starts affecting your hormonal health and overall quality of your life. Again, there are many techniques available outside, like 15 minutes meditation, journaling, and much more. You have to pick up something which can help you and incorporate it into your daily life so that you can handle and manage stress better. Whatever I spoke to you about are like different components of a healthy WQ lifestyle. The good news is like you can customize it so that it can suit you. You need a coach who can understand your health and lifestyle better and customize it for you so that you can enjoy the benefits of all these changes so that you can have a better hormonal health. In contrast, if you start focusing on things which you can easily control, right, we feel more empowered and that can actually create wonders.
That was like a blast from the past. I don't know how Archana knew everything that I used to eat. It was like all my plates taken pictures and shown there. That was scary, but I'm so glad she also talked about a balanced meal and also showed some examples. Now I have an understanding of how to balance my meal, Una.
Yeah, true. Actually, one of the biggest things that's a big relief here is that, cravings is not just about